green are real. The color yellow is a mystical experience shared by everyone. Demolish.
It could have been thunder like drums.
A man breaking his journey between one place and another at a third place of no name, character, population, or significance sees a unicorn cross his path and disappear. This in itself is startling, but there are precedents for mystical encounters of various kinds, or to be less extreme, a choice of persuasions to put it down to fancy until my God, says a second man. I must be dreaming. I thought I saw a unicorn. At which point, a dimension is added, which makes the experience as alarming as will ever be. A third witness, you understand, adds no further dimension, but only spreads it thinner. And a fourth, thinner still. And the more witnesses there are, the thinner it gets, and more reasonable it becomes, till it is as thin as reality, the name we give to the common experience. Look, recites the crowd. A horse with an arrow in his forehead. It must have been mistaken for a deer.
I knew I heard a band.
He knew we heard a band all along.
Here they come! Here they come! Oh! Here they come!
I'm sorry it wasn't a unicorn. It would be nice to have unicorns.
Halt! Notice! Don't move! Perfect. A lucky thing we came along.
Why is that?
Why we grow rusty and you catch us at the very point of decadence. By this time tomorrow, we might have forgotten all we ever knew. That's a thought, isn't it? We'd be back where we started. Improvising.
Tumblers, are you?
We can give you a tumble if that's your taste. And times being what they are. Otherwise, for a jingle of coin, we can do you a selection of gory romance full of fine cadence and corpses, pirated from the Italian. And it doesn't take much to make a jingle. Even a single coin has music in it. Tragedians, at your command.
I'm Guildenstern and this is Rosencrantz. I'm sorry, I'm Rosencrantz and this is Guildenstern.
A pleasure. We've played to bigger, of course, but quality counts for something. I recognized you at once.
And who are we?
As fellow artists.
I thought we were gentlemen.
For some of us, it is performance. For others, patronage. They are two sides of the same coin. Or, let us say, being as there are so many of us, the same side of two coins.
What is your line?
Tragedy, sir. Deaths and disclosure, universal and particular. Denouements both expected and inexplorable. Transvestite melodramas on all levels, including the suggestive. We transport you into the world of intrigue and illusion. Clowns, if you like. Murders. We can do you ghosts or battles on the skirmish level. Heroes, villains, tormented lovers, set pieces in the poetic vein. We can do you rapiers, or rape, or both by all means. Faithless wives and ravished virgins, flagrante delicto at a price. But that comes under realism, for which there are special terms. Getting warm, am I?
I don't
It
know.
costs little to watch and a little more if you happen to get caught up in the action, if that's your taste in times being what they are.
What are they?
Indifferent.
Bad?
Wicked. Now, what precisely is your pleasure?
And how much?
To take part.
To watch.
Watch what?
A private performance.
How private?
Well, there's the two of us. Is that enough?
For an audience, disappointing. For you. About average.
What's the difference?
5 guilders.
5 guilders.
To watch.
Together.
Each. I don't think you understand.
What are you saying?
What am I saying? 4.
Where have you been?
Roundabout. A nest of children carries the customs of the town. Juvenile companies. They are the fashion, but they cannot match our repertoire. We'll stoop to anything if that's your head.
They'll grow up.
There's one born every minute. Onward.
Where you go?
Home, sir.
Where from?
Home. We're traveling people. We take our chances where we find them.
Aye, whose chance then?
Chance?
You found us.
Oh, yes.
You were looking.
Oh, no.
Chance then.
Or fate.
Yours or ours?
There should hardly be one without the other.
Fate then.
Oh, yes. We have no control. Tonight, we play to the court.
Nope.
Or the night after.
Nope.
Or to the tavern.
Nope.
Or not!
Yep.
Perhaps I can use some of my influence.
At the tavern.
At the court, I would say I have some influence.
Would you say so?
I have influence yet.
Yet what?
I have influence. You said something about getting caught up in the action.
I did. You're quicker than your friends. Now, for a handful of guilders, I happen to have a private and uncut performance of The Rape of the Sabine Women. Or rather woman, or rather Alfred. Get your skirt on, Alfred. And for 8, you can participate, taking either role, or both for 10, with encores. Get your skirt off, Alfred!
It could have been, it didn't have to be a scene. It could have been a bird out of season dropping bright feathers on my shoulder. It could have been a tongueless wolf standing by the road to point the way. I was prepared. But this is it, isn't it? No enigma, no dignity, nothing classical. Portness only this. A comic pornographer and a rabble of prostitutes.
You should have caught us in better times. We were purists then. Onward!
Don't hurry off.
Halt! Alfred!
So you're not exclusively players then?
We're inclusively players, sir.
And you give exhibitions?
Performances, sir.
Oh, I'm sure of that. There's more money, is there?
There's more trade, sir.
Times being what they are.
Yes.
Indifferent.
Completely.
You know, I had no idea.
No.
You know, I never actually, but
No.
what exactly do you do?
We keep to our usual stuff, more or less, only inside out. Which is a kind of integrity if you look on every exit being an entrance somewhere else.
All right then, sit down. Don't hurry off. I wouldn't mind hearing about just a couple of things that people ask you to do.
On!
Just a minute. All right. I wouldn't mind seeing just an idea. What will you do for that? On! Disgusting! I'll have to report you to the authorities.
What are you playing at? that you have in mind?
Double or quits?
Well, heads. Heads.
Again. Heads. Again.
Heads.
Heads.
Tails.
Heads.
No. They don't like the odds.
You were right. Heads. Heads I win.
No.
Right again. Heads I win.
No.
And right again. Heads I win.
No!
What do you believe in? Bet me the year of my birth, doubled, is an odd number.
Your birth.
If you don't trust me, don't bet with me.
Would you trust me?
Bet me then.
My
Odd numbers you win?
You're on.
Good. Year of your birth, doubled. Even numbers I win, odd numbers I lose.
We have no money.
Then what have you got? Was it for this?
It's the best we've got.
Then times are bad indeed. The very air stinks. Come here. Tell me, do you lose often?
Yes, sir.
Then what could you have left to lose?
Nothing, sir.
Do you like being an actor, Alfred? You and I, Alfred, we could create a dramatic precedent here. Come here, Alfred. This is no way to fill the theaters of Europe. Do you know any good plays?
Plays.
Exhibitions.
I thought you said you were actors.
Well, we are, but there hasn't been much call.
You lost. Well then, one of the Greeks, perhaps. You are familiar with the tragedies of antiquity, right? The great homicidal classics. Matchery, patchery, fratchery, sorry, uxery, and it goes without saying, suicidal, maidens aspiring to godheads.
And vice versa.
Your kind of thing, is it?
Well, I can't say it is really. We're more of the blood-loving rhetoric.
Well, I'll leave the choice to you if there's anything to choose between them.
Well, they're hardly divisible, sir. I mean, I can do you blood and love without the rhetoric, or I can do you blood and rhetoric without the love, or I can do you all three concurrent or consecutive. But I can't do you love and rhetoric without the blood. Blood is compulsory. They're all blood, you see?
Is that what people want?
It's what we do.
Thank you. We'll let you know.
Entrances, there and there.
Aren't you going to get into costume?
I never change out of it, sir.
Always in character.
That's it.
Aren't you going to come on?
I am on.
But if you are on, you can't come on, can you?
I start on.
It hasn't started yet. Go on, we'll look out for you.
I'll give you a wave.
Excuse me. Ha! Oh, thank you.
Come on.
I said that was lucky.
What?
It was tails.
Come on!
Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Moreover, that we did much long to see you. The need we have to use you did provoke our hasty sending. Something have you heard of Hamlet's transformation, so call it? The sith nor the exterior nor the inward man resembles that it was. What it should be, more than his father's death, that thus hath put him. So much for the understanding of himself I cannot dream of. I entreat you both, that being of young days brought up with him, and sith so neighbor to his youth and behavior, that you vouchsafe your rest here in our court. Some little time, so by your companies to draw on to pleasures, and together, as much as from occasion you may glean, whether aught to us unknown looks of. Thus, that open lies within our remedy.
Good gentlemen, he hath talked much of you, and sure I am two men there is not living to whom he more dears. If it will please you to show us so much gentry and goodwill as to expand your time with us a while for the supply and profit of our hope, your visitation will receive such thanks as fits a king's remembrance.
Both your majesties, by the sovereign power you have of us, put your dread pleasures more into command than to entry.
But we both give up ourselves in the full bent to lay ourselves as freely at your feet. Do we command it?
Thanks, Rosencrantz and gentle Guildenstern.
Thanks, Guildenstern and gentle Rosencrantz. And I beseech you instantly to visit my too much changed son. Go, some of you, and bring these gentlemen where Hamlet is.
Heaven make our presences and our practices pleasant and helpful to us.
Aye, amen.
The ambassadors from Norway, my good lord, are joyfully returned.
Thou hast been the father of good news.
Have I, my lord? Assure you, my good liege, I hold my duty as I hold my soul, both to my God and to my gracious king. And I do think, or else this brain of mine hunts not the trail of policy so sure, as it hath used to do, that I have found the cause of Hamlet's lunacy.
I want to go home.
Don't let them confuse you.
I'm out of my step here.
We'll soon be home and high.
It's out of my
Try
depth.
it home.
It's out of my head.
I'll hie you home and
It's all stepping to a head body. It's all,
try you high.
it's all heading to a death. It's all boating to a death. It's all heading to a Death Star.
There. And we'll soon be home and dry and high and dry. Has it ever happened to you that all of the sudden, for no reason at all, you haven't the faintest idea how to spell the word wife or house, because when you write it down, you just can't remember ever having seen those letters in that order before.
I remember.
Yes.
I remember when there were no questions.
There were always questions. To exchange one said for another is no great matter.
Yes, but there were answers for everything.
You've forgotten.
I haven't forgotten. I remember my name and yours. Yes, there were answers everywhere you looked. No question about it. Everybody knew who I was, and if they didn't, they asked, and I told them.
You did. The trouble is, each of them is plausible without being instinctive. All all your life. You live so close to truth. It becomes a permanent blur in the corner of your eye. When something knocks it into outline, it's like being ambushed by a grotesque. A man standing on his saddle in the half-lit, half-alive dawn, banged on the shutters and called two names. He was just a hat and a cloak levitating in the gray plume of his own breath. But when he called, we came. That much is certain. We came.
Well, I'm sick to death of it. And I don't care either way. So why don't you make up your mind?
We cannot afford anything quite so arbitrary, nor did we come all this way for a christening. All that preceded us. But we're comparatively fortunate. We could have been left to sift the whole field of human nomenclature, like two blind men looting a bazaar for their own portraits.
Well, as from now...
At least we're presented with alternatives. But now, choice.
You made me look ridiculous in there.
I looked just as ridiculous as you did.
I'm going then. Which way did we come and I've lost my sense of direction?
The only beginning is birth and the only end is death. If you can't count on that, what can you count on?
We don't owe anything to anyone.
We've been caught up. Your smallest move sets off another one somewhere else and is set off by it. Keep an eye open and ear cocked. Tread warily. Follow instructions. We'll be all right.
We've got nothing to go on.
We've been briefed. Hamlet's transformation. What do you recollect?
Well, he's changed, hasn't he? The inward and exterior man failed to resemble.
Draw him on to pleasures. Glean what afflicts him.
Something more than his father's death.
He's always talking about us. There aren't two people living. We don't saw more.
We cheer him up, we find out what's the matter.
Exactly. It's a matter of asking the right questions and giving away as little as we can. It's a game.
And then we can go.
And receive such thanks as fits a king's remembrance.
I like the sound of that. What do you think he means by king's remembrance?
He does not forget his friends.
Would you care to estimate?
Difficult to say, really. Some kings tend to be amnesiac. Others the opposite, I suppose, whatever that is.
Yes, but...
Elephantine?
Not how long, how much.
Ah, retentive. He's a very retentive king, a royal retainer.
What are we playing at?
Words, they're all we have to go on.
Shouldn't we be doing something more constructive?
What did you have in mind? A short, blunt, human pyramid?
We could go.
Where?
After him.
Why? They've got us placed now. If we start moving around, we'll all be chasing each other all night.
How very intriguing. I feel like a spectator. An appalling business. The only thing that makes it bearable is the irrational belief that somebody interesting will come in a minute.
See anyone?
No. You?
No. What a fine persecution, to be kept in intrigue without ever quite being enlightened. I've had no practice.
We could play at questions.
What good would that do?
Practice!
Statement. One love.
Cheating!
How?
I haven't started yet!
Statement through love.
Are you counting that?
What?
Are you counting that?
Wow. No repetitions. 3 love. First game. 2.
I'm not gonna play if you're gonna be like that.
Who is served? Foul. No.
No. Who's go?
Why?
Why not?
but good.
Oh. Foul, no synonyms. Love one.
What in God's name is going on?
Oh, foul, no lettering. 2-1.
What's it all add up to?
Can't you guess?
You just
Is
mean
there anyone else?
why you ask?
How would I know?
What is it?
Are you serious?
Was that rhetoric?
No. No.
Statement.
Oh.
Do all. Game point.
What's the matter with you today?
When?
What?
Are you dead?
Am I dead?
Yes or no?
Is there a choice?
Is there a God?
Oh, foul. No non sequiturs. 3, 2, 1, game all. Oh,
What's your name?
what's yours?
I asked you first.
Statement. One luck.
What's your name when you're at home?
What's yours?
When I'm at home?
When at home?
What home?
Have you got one?
Why do you ask?
What are you driving at?
What's your name?
Foul, no repetition. Love one.
Who do you think you are?
Oh. Rhetoric, game, and match. Oh. 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 When's it going to end?
That's the question.
It's all questions.
Do you think it matters?
What does it matter?
Why should it matter?
What does it matter why?
Doesn't it matter why it matters?
What's the matter with you?
It doesn't matter.
What's the game?
What are the rules? Rosencrantz?
What? Oh.
There! How was that?
Clever!
Natural?
Instinctive!
Got in your head.
Oh, I take my hat off to you, Gil.
Shake hands.
Now I'll try you. Gil.
Not yet. Catch me unawares.
Right. Ready?
Don't be stupid.
Sorry.
Guildenstern!
What?
Consistency is all I ask.
Who was that?
Didn't you know him?
He didn't know me.
He didn't see you.
I didn't look.
We shall see. I hardly knew him. He's changed.
You could see that?
Transformed.
How do you know?
Inside and out.
I see.
He's not himself.
Me?
Him.
How?
John? Glean with a foot. Question and answer are the best ones.
He's afflicted.
You question, I'll answer.
He's not himself, you know.
I'm him, you see.
And who am I?
You're yourself.
And he's you.
Not a bit of it.
Are you afflicted?
That's the idea. Ready?
Let's go back a bit.
I'm afflicted.
I see.
Glean what afflicts me.
Right.
Question and answer.
How should we begin?
Address me.
My dear Guildenstern.
You've forgotten, haven't you?
Ah. My dear Rosencrantz.
I don't think you quite understand what we're attempting here is a hypothesis in which I answer for him while you ask me questions.
Ready?
Know what to do?
What?
Are you stupid?
Pardon?
Are you deaf?
Did you speak?
Not now.
A statement.
Not now. Perhaps he'll come back this way.
Should we go?
What?
Oh. You pretend to be him. And I ask you questions.
Very good.
You had me confused.
You see, I have.
How should we begin?
Address me.
My honored lord.
My dear Rosencrantz.
And am I you?
Certainly not. If you like. Shall we continue?
How should we?
Address.
Question answer.
Right.
My honored lord.
My dear fellow.
How are you?
Afflicted.
In what ways?
Transformed.
Inside or out?
Both.
Oh. I see, not much new there.
Go into details. Delve. Probe the background. Establish the situation.
So your uncle is the king of Denmark?
And my father before him?
And his father before him?
No, my father before him.
But surely.
You might well ask.
Let me get this straight. Your father was king. You're his only son. Your father dies. You are of age. Your uncle becomes king.
Yes.
Unorthodox.
Undid me.
Undeniable. Where were you?
In Germany.
Usurpation then.
He slipped in.
Which reminds me,
Well, it would.
I don't want to be personal.
It's common knowledge.
Your mother's marriage.
He slipped in.
His body's still warm.
So is hers.
Extraordinary.
Indecent.
Hasty.
Suspicious.
It makes you think.
Don't think I've informed it.
And with her husband's brother,
They were close.
she went to him for
Too close.
comfort.
It looks bad.
It adds up.
Incest or adultery.
Would you go so far?
Never.
To sum up, your father, whom you love, died. You are his heir, but you come back to find hardly was the corpse cold, but his younger brother popped up onto the throne and into the sheets, thereby offending both legal and natural practice. Now tell me, why are you behaving in such an extraordinary manner?
I can't imagine. This is well known, common property. Yet he did send for us, and we did come.
I can hear music,
We're here.
like a band.
Rosencrantz.
What?
Guildenstern.
What?
Don't you discriminate at all.
What?
Go and see if he's there.
Who?
There.
He's there,
What's he doing?
talking.
To himself? Is he alone?
Not by himself.
Then he's not talking to himself, is he?
Should we go?
Why? We're marked now.
For you yourself, sir, should be as old as I am. If like a crab, you too could go back.
Though this be madness, yet there is method in it. Will you walk out of the air, my lord?
Into my grave. You cannot take from me anything I will more willingly part with all, except my life, except my life, except my life.
Fare you well, my lord. You go to seek Lord Hamlet? There he is.
God save you, sir.
My honored lord!
My excellent Guildenstern. How dost thou, Guildenstern? Ah, Rosencrantz. Good lads, how do you both? It is not very strange, for my uncle is king of Denmark, and those that make mouths at him while my father still give him 20, 40, 50, 100 ducats apiece for his picture and litter. Splud, there's something in this more than natural if philosophy could find it out.
They're the players.
Gentlemen, you're welcome to help. Your hands, come then. The impertinence of welcome is fashion and ceremony. Let me comply with this God. Lest my extent unto the players, which I tell you must show fairly outward, should more appear like entertainment than yours. You are welcome. But my uncle, father, and aunt mother are deceived.
In what, my dear lord?
I would mad northwest, when the wind is southerly, and a hawk from a handsaw.
Well, be with you, gentlemen.
Oh, fuck you, Guildenstern, and you too, and each of you here. That great baby you see there is not intended to swirling clouds.
My lord, I have news to tell you.
My lord, I have news to tell you. When Rossius was an actor in Rome.
The actors are come hither, my lord.
Buzz, 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 buzz. Buzz, 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 buzz.
Yes?
What?
I thought you
No.
were. Oh.
I think we can say we made some headway.
You think so?
I think we can say that.
I think you can say that he made us look ridiculous.
We played it close to the chest, of course.
It was question and answer. He was scoring off us all down the line.
He caught us on the wrong foot once or twice, perhaps, but I thought we gained some ground.
He murdered us.
He might have had the edge.
27-3, and you think he might have had that? He murdered us.
What about our evasions?
Oh. Our evasions, they were lovely. Were you sent for? We were sent for, my lord. I didn't know where to put myself.
He had 6 rhetoricals.
It was question and answer, all right. 27 questions he got out in 10 minutes, of which he answered 3. I was waiting for you to delve. When is he going to start delving, I asked myself.
And 2 repetitions.
Hardly a leading question between us.
We got his symptoms, didn't we?
Half of what he said meant something else, and the other half didn't mean anything at all.
Thwarted ambition, a sense of grievance. That's my diagnosis.
6 repetitions, 6 rhetoricals, and 2 repetitions, leaving 19, of which we answered 15. And what do we get in return? He's depressed. Denmark's a prison, and he'd rather live in a nutshell. Some shadow play about the nature of ambition, which never got down to cases, but led to one final question, which may have led somewhere, but led, in fact, to his illuminating claim to tell a hawk from a handsaw.
When the wind is sunny.
And the weather is clear.
When it isn't, he can't.
And he's at the mercy of the elements. Is that southerly?
Doesn't look southerly. What made you think so?
I didn't say I think. It could be northerly for all I know.
I would have thought so.
Well, if you're going to be dogmatic.
Wait a minute. We came from roughly south, according to a rough map.
And which way did we come in roughly?
In the morning, the sun would be easterly. I think we could assume this.
That it is morning.
If it is, and the sun is over there, that's northerly. On the other hand, if it's not morning and the sun's over there, that's still northerly. To put it another way, if we came from down there and it is morning, then the sun will be over there. And if it's actually over there and it's still morning, then we must have come from up there. That's southerly. The sun's really over there. Then it's the afternoon. However, if none of these is the case,
Then why don't you go have a look?
empiricism, is that all you have to offer? You seem to have no conception of where we stand. You won't find the answer written down for you in the bowl of a compass. I can tell you that. Besides, you can never tell this far north. It's probably dark up there.
I was merely suggesting that the position of the sun, if it is out, would give you a rough idea of the time. Alternatively, the clock, if it is going, would give you a rough idea of the position of the sun. Now I forget which you're trying to establish.
I'm trying to establish the direction of the wind.
There is no wind! That, yes.
In that case, the origin. Trace it to its source, and it might give us a rough idea of which way we came in, which might give us a rough idea of south. For further reference.
Oh, the origin. Oh. Oh dear. Oh. It's come to the floor. That can't be southerly, can it?
That's not a direction. Lick your toe and wave it around it.
No. I think you have to lick it for me.
I'm prepared to let the whole matter drop.
Or I can lick yours, of course.
No, thank you.
I'll even wave it around for you.
What in God's name is the matter with you?
Just being friendly.
Someone might come in. It's what we're counting on, after all, ultimately.
Perhaps they've all trampled each other to death in the rush. Give them a shout, something provocative, intrigue them.
Wheels have been set in motion, and they have their own pace to which we're condemned. Each move's dictated by the previous one. That's the meaning of order. If we start being arbitrary, it'll just be a shambles. At least, let us hope so. Because if we happen, just happen, to discover or even suspect that our spontaneity was part of their order, we'd know we were lost. Chinamen of the Tang dynasty, by which definition of philosopher, once dreamed that he was a butterfly. From that moment, he was never quite sure he was not a butterfly. Dreaming he was a Chinese philosopher. Envy him in his twofold security.
Oh, fire! Ah! Oh.
Wes!
It's all right. I was demonstrating the misuse of free speech. To prove that it exists. Not a single one to move. They should all burn to death in their shoes. Oh,
What was it?
what?
Heads or tails?
I didn't look.
Yes, you did.
Oh, did I? Quite right, it rings a bell.
What's the last thing you remember?
I don't wish to be reminded of it.
We cross our bridges as we come to them and burn them behind us with nothing to show for our progress except a memory of the smell of smoke and a presumption that once our eyes watered.
Oh. Oh, no.
She played the murder of Gonzaga.
I know.
We'll halt tomorrow night. You could for need study a speech of some dozen or 16 lines, in which I would set down and insert it. Could you not?
I know.
Very well. You follow that lord and look, you mock him not. My excellent friends, I'll leave you till tonight. You're welcome to Elsinore.
Thank you, my lord.
So you've caught up.
Not yet, sir.
Now, mind your tongue, or have it out and throw the rest of you away like a nightingale at a Roman feast.
Took the very words out of my mouth.
You'd be lost for words.
Tongue-tied.
Like a mute in a monologue.
Like a nightingale at a Roman feast.
Your diction will go to pieces.
Your lines cut.
To downshows.
And dramatic pauses.
You'll never find your tongue.
Lick your lips.
Taste your tears.
Your breakfast.
You will know the difference.
There won't be any.
We'll take the very words out of your mouth.
So you've caught on.
So you've got up.
Not yet, sir! You left us!
Ah, I'd forgotten. You performed a dramatic spectacle on the road. Yes, I'm sorry I had to miss it.
We can't look each other in the face! You don't understand the humiliation of it! To be tricked out of the single assumption which makes our existence viable! That somebody is watching! There we were. Demented children mincing about in clothes that no one ever wore. Speaking as no man had ever spoke. Swearing love in wigs and rhymed couplets. Killing each other with wooden swords. Hollow protestations of faith hurled at their empty promises of vengeance. And every gesture, every pose, vanishing to the thin, unpopulated air. We ransomed our dignity to the clouds and the uncomprehending birds. Listen. Don't you see? We're actors. We're the opposite of people. Think in your head now. Think of the most private, secret, intimate thing you have ever done, secure in the knowledge of its privacy. Are you thinking of it? Well, I saw you do it.
Oh, you never. Oh. It's a lie.
We're actors. We pledged our identities, secure in the convictions of our trade, that someone would be watching. And then, gradually, no one was. We were caught, high and dry. It wasn't until the murderer's long soliloquy that we were able to take a look around. Frozen, as we were in profile, our eyes searched you out. First, confidently. Then, hesitantly. Then, desperately in each patch of turf, each log, every exposed corner in every direction, proved uninhabited. And all the while, the murderous king addressed the horizon with his dreary, interminable guilt. Our heads began to move, wary as lizards. The corpse of unsullied Rosalinda peeped through his fingers, and the king faltered. Even then, habit and a stubborn trust that our audience spied upon us from behind the nearest bush forced our bodies to blunder on long after they had emptied of meaning, until, like runaway carts, they dragged to a halt. No one came forward. No one shouted at us. The silence was unbreakable. It imposed itself upon us. It was obscene. We took off our crowns and swords and cloths of gold and moved silent on the road to Elsinore.
Rather strong on metaphor, mind you. No criticism, only a matter of taste. And so here you are, with a vengeance. That's a figure of speech, isn't it? Well, let us say we've paid out for you may have no doubt whom to thank for your performance at the court.
We already have an entry here, and always have had.
You played for him before.
Yes, sir.
What will you play?
The murder of Gonzalo.
Full of fine cadence and corpses.
Pirated from the Italian.
What is it about?
It's about a king and queen.
Escapists. What else?
Blood,
Love and rhetoric.
Yes.
Where are you going?
I can come and go as I please.
You're evidently a man who knows his way around.
I've been here before.
We're still finding our feet.
I should concentrate on not losing your heads.
Do you speak from knowledge?
Precedent.
You've been here before.
And I know which way the wind is blowing.
The truth is, we value your company. For want of any other. We've been left so much to our own devices. After a while, one welcomes the uncertainty of being left to other people's.
Uncertainty is the normal state. You're nobody special.
But for God's sake, what are we supposed to do?
Relax. Respond. That's what people do. You can't go through life questioning your situation at every turn.
But we don't know what's going on or what to do with ourselves. We don't know how to act.
Act. Naturally. You know why you're hearing this.
We only know what we're told, and that's little enough as it is, and for all we know, it isn't even true.
For all anyone knows, nothing is. Everything has to be taken on trust. Truth is only that which is taken to be true. It's the currency of living. There may be nothing behind it, but it doesn't matter so long as it is honored. One acts on assumptions. What do you assume?
Hamlet is not himself inside nor out. We have to glean what afflicts him.
He's melancholy.
Melancholy.
Mad.
How is he mad?
More morose than mad, perhaps.
Melancholy.
Moody.
He has moods.
Of moroseness.
Madness, and yet,
Why?
for instance,
He talks to himself, which may be madness,
if he didn't talk sense, which he does.
which suggests the complete opposite.
Of what?
I think I have it. A man talking sense to himself is no matter than a man talking nonsense not to himself.
Or just as mad.
Or just as mad.
And he does both.
So there you have it.
Stark raving saying.
Why?
Ah. Why?
Exactly.
Exactly what?
What?
Exactly why what?
Exactly why?
Why is mad?
I don't know.
The old man thinks he's in love with his daughter. Oh,
Good God, we're out of our depth here.
no. He hasn't got a daughter. The old man thinks he's in love with his daughter.
The old man is.
Hamlet,
A buzz.
in love with the old man's daughter, the old man thinks.
It's beginning to make sense. Unrequited passion.
Onward!
Nobody leaves this room without a very good reason.
Why not?
All this strolling about is getting too arbitrary by half. I'm rapidly losing my grip. From now on, reason will prevail.
I have lines to learn.
Pass.
Next! think I lost it.
What coin?
I don't remember exactly.
Oh, that coin.
I can't remember how I did it.
Do it again.
We can't afford it.
Yes, one must think of the future.
It's normal.
To have one. One is, after all, having one all the time. Now. And now. And now.
It could go on forever. Well, not forever, I suppose. Do you ever think of yourself as actually dead, lying in a box with a lid on it?
No.
Nor do I really. It's silly to be depressed by it. I mean, one thinks of it as being alive in a box. One forgets to take into account the fact that one is dead, which should make all the difference, shouldn't it? I mean, you'd never know you were in a box, would you? It'd be just like being asleep in a box. Not that I'd like to sleep in a box, mind you, not without any air. You'd wake up dead for a start. And then apart from inside a box. That's the bit I don't like, frankly. That's why I don't like to think about it. Because you'd be helpless, stuffed in a box like that. I mean, it isn't a pleasant thought, especially when one takes into account the fact that one is dead. Which should make all the difference, shouldn't it? I mean, if I asked you straight off, I'm going to stuff you in this box. Would you rather be alive or dead? Naturally, prefer to be alive. Life in a box is better than no life at all, I suppose. You could lie there thinking, well, at least I'm not dead. You had a chance. In a minute, someone's going to come and bang on the lid and shout, "Hey, you, what's your name? Come out of there."
You don't have to bug it to death.
I wouldn't think about it if I were you. You'd only get depressed. Eternity is a terrible thought. I mean, when is it going to end? Two early Christians chanced to meet in heaven. Saul of Tarsus, yet. "Tarsus Marcius! What are you doing?" cried one. "I'm Paul already." They don't care. We could remain silent till we're green in the face and they wouldn't come.
Blue red.
All right, we know you're in there. Come out talking. Come out talking. We know you're in there. We have no control. None at all. What became of the moment when one first knew about death? There must have been a moment in childhood where it first occurred to you that you don't go on forever. It must have been shattering, stamped into one's memory, and yet I can't remember it ever happening to me. What does one do about that? I mean, surely we must be born with an intuition of mortality. Before we know the words for it, before we know that there are words, out we come, bloody and squalling, knowing that for all the compasses in the world, that there is one direction and time is its only measure. A Hindu, a Buddhist, and a lion tamer chanced to meet in a circus on the Indo-Chinese border. They're taking us for granted. Well, I won't stand for it, and future notice will be taken. All right, then. I forbid anyone to enter. Ah. I forbid anyone to enter. That's better.
Death followed by eternity. It's the worst of both worlds. It's a terrible thought.
free in his reply.
Did you assay him to any pastime?
Madame. Madame. Madame, it so fell out that certain players were out in the way of these. We told him there did seem in him a kind of joy to hear of it. They are here about the court, and now that I'm reminded their order this meant to play before him.
'Tis most true, and he beseeched me to entreat your majesties to hear and see the matter.
With all my heart, and it doth content me to hear him so inclined. Good gentlemen, give him a further edge and drive his purpose into these delights.
We shall, my lord.
Sweet Gertrude, leave us to, for we have closely sent for Hamlet hither, that he as 'twere by accident may hear front Ophelia.
In and out, on and off, they're coming at us from all sides.
You're never satisfied.
Catching us on the trot. Why can't we ever go by them?
What's the difference?
I'm going. He's coming.
What's he doing?
Nothing.
He must be doing something.
Walking.
On his hands.
No, on his feet.
Stark naked.
Fully dressed.
Selling toffee apples.
Not that I've noticed.
You could be wrong.
I'm not too sure.
I can't for the life of me see how we're going to get into conversation.
One might say it was a chance. One might well accost him. Yes, this definitely looks like a chance to me. Something along the lines of a direct, informal approach. Man to man, straight from the shoulder. Here, this is what it's all about, sort of thing. Oh, this definitely looks like a situation to be grabbed with both hands, is what I would say if I were asked, but there's no point in buying gift horse feast, the whites of its eyes, etc. We're overall, that's our trouble. When it comes to the point, we succumb to their personality.
Never through thy horizons be all my saint remembered.
Good, my lord. How does your honor for this many a day?
I humbly thank you. Well, well, well.
It's like living in a public park!
Very impressive. Yes, I thought your direct and informal approach was going to stop this thing dead in its tracks there. If I might make a suggestion. Shut up and sit down. Stop being perverse.
I'm not going to stand for it.
just moving back. There. Everyone ready? And for goodness sakes, remember what we're doing. We always use the same costumes, more or less, and they forget what they're supposed to be in, you see. Stop picking your nose, Alfred! When queens have to, they do it by a cerebral process passed down in the blood. Good. Silence! Off we go.
Full 30 times hath Phoebus'
No, no, no! Dumb show first! Your confounded majesty! They're a bit out of practice, but they always pick up wonderfully for the dance. It brings out the poetry in them.
How nice.
There's nothing more unconvincing than an unconvincing death.
I'm sure.
Act 1 moves now.
What's the dumb show for?
Well, it's a device, really. It makes the action that follows more or less comprehensible. You understand, we're tied down to a language which makes up an obscurity when it lacks in style.
Who was that?
The king's brother and uncle to the prince.
Not exactly fraternal.
Not exactly avuncular. As time goes on,
Yeah?
Go to! I'll no more arms. Death made me mad. I say we will have no more marriage. To those of you that are married already, all but one shall live. And the rest of you shall keep as they are. To a nunnery. Go.
Full 30 times hath Phoebus'
love, his affections do not that way tend, or what he spake, though like form a little was not like madness. There's something in his soul, or which his melancholy sits on brood. And I duped out the hatch, and the disclose will be some danger, which, in quick determination, I have thus set it down. He will speak to England. Between just desserts and tragic ironies, we are given quite a lot of scope for our particular talent. Generally speaking, things have gone about as far as they could possibly go, and things have got about as bad as they can reasonably get.
Who decides?
Besides, it is written. We're tragedians, you see. We follow direction. There is no choice involved. The bad, and unhappily, the good, unluckily. That is what tragedy means. Positions. Go! Having murdered his brother and wounded the widow, the poisoner mounts the throne. Here we see him and his queen give rein to their unbridled passion. She little knowing that the man is
I say, you cannot do this here.
Why not?
People come expecting to be entertained. They don't want this sordid and gratuitous filth.
You're wrong. They do. Murder, seduction, and incest. What did you want? Jokes?
I want to start with a good beginning, middle, and end.
And you?
I prefer art to mere life. It's all the same.
It's all the same to me, sir. All right. No need to indulge yourselves. Oh! Oh! I come on in a minute. Lucianus, nephew to the king. Next, Lucianus, nephew to the king, usurped by his uncle and shattered by his mother's incestuous marriage, loses his reason. Buzz! Buzz, 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 buzz! Buzz, 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 buzz! Throwing the court into turmoil and disarray as he alternates between bitter melancholy and unrestricted lunacy, staggering from the suicidal to the homicidal.
I am slain.
He confronts his mother in a scene of provocative ambiguity, begs her to repent and recant. The king! The king! The king! Tormented by guilt, haunted by fear, decides to dispatch his nephew to England and entrusts this undertaking to two smiling accomplices. To two smiling accomplices! Friends, courtiers, to two spies, giving them a letter to present to the English court. And so they depart. On board ship, they arrive, disembark, and present themselves to the English king. The English king? But where is the prince? Where indeed the plot has thickened? A twist of fate and cunning has put into their hands a letter that seals their deaths. Are you familiar with this play?
No.
A slaughterhouse. 8 corpses all told. It brings out the best in us.
You. What do you know about death?
It's what the actors do best. They have to exploit whatever talent is given to them, and their talent is dying. They can die heroically, comically, ironically, slowly, suddenly, disgustingly, charmingly, or from a great height. My own talent is more general. I extract significance from melodrama, a significance which it does not in fact contain. But occasionally, from out of this matter, emerges a thin beam of light which, seen at the right angle, can crack the shell of mortality.
but it doesn't bring death home to anyone. It doesn't catch them unawares and start the whisper in the back of the skull that says, one day, you're going to die. You die so many deaths. How can you expect them to believe it, Lois?
On the contrary, it's the only kind they do believe. They're conditioned to believe. I had an actor once who was condemned to hang for stealing a sheep. So, I got permission to have him hanged in the middle of a play. Had to change the plot a bit, but I thought it would be effective, you know? And you just wouldn't believe it. He just wasn't convincing. It wasn't possible to suspend one's disbelief. He did nothing but cry. All the time, right out of character. Just stood there and cried. Never again. Audiences know what to expect. And that is all that they are prepared to believe in. Show!
No. You've got it all wrong. You can't act death. The fact of it has nothing to do with seeing it happen. It's not gasps and blood falling about. That isn't what makes death. It's just a man failing to reappear. Now you see him, now you don't. That's the only thing that's real. Here one minute, gone the next, never coming back. An exit, unobtrusive and unannounced. A disappearance, gathering weight as it goes on until finally it is heavy with death.
The king
All right, then.
And yet, it doesn't seem enough to have breathed such significance. Can that be all? And why us? Anybody would have done. Yet, we've contributed nothing.
It was a trying episode while it lasted, but they've done with us now.
Done what?
I don't pretend to have understood. Frankly, I'm not very interested. If they won't tell us, that's their affair. On my behalf, I'm only glad that that's the last we'll have to see of him. Oh.
I knew it wasn't the end.
What else?
We're taking him to England. What's he doing?
Talking.
To himself. Is he alone?
No, he's with a soldier.
Then he's not talking to himself, is he?
Should we go?
When?
They'll have us hanging till we're dead. The seasons will change. The spring can't last forever.
Good sir, whose powers are these?
They are of Norway, sir.
And how purpose, sir, I pray you?
Against some part of Poland.
Who commands him, sir?
The nephew to Old Norway, Fortinbras.
Will be cold. The summer won't last.
It's autumnal.
There are no leaves.
Autumnal, nothing to do with leaves, to do with a certain brownness at the edge of the day. Brownness creeping up on us, take my word for it. Russets and tangerine shades of old gold, flushing the very outside edge of the senses. Deep shining ochres, burnt umber, parchments of baked earth reflecting on through itself, filtering the light. At such times, perhaps coincidentally, the leaves might fall somewhere by repute. Yesterday was blue, like smoke.
I got it again then.
I humbly thank you.
God by you, sir.
Will it please you go, my lord?
I'll be with you straight. Go you a little before.
Is he there?
Yes.
What's he doing?
Talking.
To himself?
Yes. He said we can go. Cross my heart.
I like to know where I am. Even if I don't know where I am, I like to know that. If we go, there's no knowing.
No knowing what?
If we'll ever come back.
We don't want to come back.
That may be very well true, but do we want to go?
We'll be free.
I don't know. It's the listening, Sky.
Well, we've come this far, and anything can happen yet.
Intermission at this time. There's a concession outside Washington around the corner. Please hurry back.
Oh!
There we go.
Yes, but what?
Out of the void, finally sound. Go and see what it is.
I thought I heard a band.
Aha! All in the same boat then. Everybody out! Where are we?
Traveling.
Of course! We haven't got there yet.
Are we all right for England?
You look all right to me. I don't think they're very particular in England. Alfred!
What are you doing here?
Traveling. Right. Blend into the background. Pleased to see us. You've come out of it very well.
And
So,
you?
In disfavor. Our play offended the king.
Yes.
Well, he's the second husband himself. Tactless, really.
It was quite a good play, nevertheless.
We never really got going. It was getting quite interesting when they stopped. accounted for just as we were.
Stowaways, then.
Naturally, we didn't get paid. Owing to circumstances ever so slightly beyond our control and all the money we had, we lost betting on certainties. Life is a gamble at terrible odds. If it was a bet, you wouldn't take it. Did you know that any number doubled is even?
Is it?
We learn something every day to our cost, but us troopers just go on and on. Do you know what happens to old actors?
What happened?
Nothing! They're still acting! Surprised then?
What?
Surprised to see us,
I know it wasn't the end.
with practically everyone on their feet. What do you make of it so far?
A compulsion towards philosophical introspection in his chief characteristics, if I may put it like that, does not mean he is mad, it does not mean he isn't. Very often it does not mean anything at all, which may or may not be a kind of madness.
It really boils down to simple things. Pregnant replies, mystic illusions, mistaken identities, arguing his father is his mother, that kind of thing. Intimations of suicide, foregoing of exercise, loss of mirth, hints of claustrophobia, not to say delusions of imprisonment, invocations of camels, chameleons, capons, whales, weasels, hawks, handsons, riddles, scribbles, and evasions, amnesia, paranoia, myopia, daydreaming, hallucinations, stabbing his elders, abusing his parents, insulting his lover, and appearing hatless in public. Not me. True stocking. And sighing like a lovesick schoolboy, which at his age is coming on a bit strong.
And talking to himself.
And talking to himself.
Incidents, all we get are incidents. Dear God, is it too much to ask for a little sustained action? They're gone! I've never thought quicker. Where is Hannah?
Once more alone, on our own resources.
What do you mean? Where's he?
Gone.
Gone where?
Yes, we were dead lucky there, if that's the word.
Dead?
Lucky?
Is he dead?
Who knows?
He's not coming back.
Hardly.
He's dead then. He's dead as far as we're concerned.
Or we are as far as he is. Not too bad, is it?
But he can't be. We're supposed to be. We've got a letter. We're going to England with a letter for the king.
Yes, that much seems certain, and I congratulate you on the unambiguity of your situation.
You don't understand. It contains. We've had our instructions. The whole thing's pointless without Hamlet.
Pirates could happen to anyone. Just deliver the letter and they'll send ambassadors from England to explain.
Can't you see? The pirates left us home and high. The
Pirates.
pirates left us high and dry. Then nothing will be resolved without him.
There,
We need Hamlet for our release.
there.
What are we supposed to do?
This.
Saved again.
Safe for what?
It'll be night soon, this far north. If that's west. Unless we've...
Shut up! I'm sick of it. You think conversation's going to help us now? We've traveled too far and our momentum is taken over. We move idly towards eternity without possibility of reprieve or hope of explanation.
Be happy. If you're not happy, what's so good about surviving? We'll just have to go on, I suppose.
Go where?
To England.
England, that's a dead end. I never believed in anyway.
We'll make a report and that'll be that surely.
I don't believe it. Ashore a harbor say. And when we get off and we stop, so when we say, where's the king? And he says, oh, you take that road there, you take the first left, and I don't believe any of it.
It's not very plausible, but...
Even if we come face to face, what do we say?
We say, we've arrived!
And who are you?
Well, I'm Rosencrantz and this is
Which
Guildenstern.
is which?
Well, I'm...
What's it all about?
Well, we were bringing Hamlet, but then
I
some
don't
pirates...
begin to understand. Who are these people? What's it got to do with me?
We have a letter.
A letter. Yes, that's true. That's something. A letter. As England is Denmark's faithful tributaries, love between them are like the palm flesh, etc., that on the knowing of this conference without delay of any kind, should those bears, those gives her, be put to sudden death.
They've gone. It's all over.
Where we went wrong was getting on a boat. We're free to move, of course. Change direction, rattle about. But our movements contain within a large one, which moves us along as inexorably as the winter current.
Who would have thought that we were so important? They had it in for us from the very beginning, didn't they? Who would have thought that we were so important?
But why? What was it all for this? Who are we that so much should converge in a little death? Who are we?
You are Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. That's enough.
No, it is not enough. To be told so little and to such an end, still finally to be denied an explanation.
In our experience, most things end in death.
Your experience happens. I'm talking about death, and you've never experienced it. And you cannot have it. You die 1,000 casual deaths, and no blood runs cold anywhere. Because even as you die, you know you'll come back in another habit. No one gets up after death. There's no applause. There's only silence and some second-hand clothes, and that's death.
Encore! Encore!
Deaths for all ages and occasions. Deaths by suspension, convulsion, consumption, incision, asphyxiation, and malnutrition. Climactic carnage by poison and by steel. Double deaths by duel. Show! So there's an end to that. It's commonplace. Light goes with life. And in the winter of your years, the dark comes early.
No. No, not for us, not like that. Dying is not romantic, and death is not a game that will soon be over. Death is not anything. Death is the absence of presence, nothing more. The endless time of never coming back. A gap you can't see. When the wind blows through it, makes no sound.
Is that it then? Is that all? The Earth's coming up or the sun's going down, as the fashionable theory has it. Not that it makes any difference. What is it all about? When did it begin? I mean, we can just stay put, can't we? No one's gonna come and drag us off. We're still young, but we've got years. We've got years. I mean, we've done nothing wrong. We didn't hurt anyone. We didn't harm anyone. We've done nothing wrong. Did we?
I can't remember.
All right then. Tell you the truth. I don't care. I don't know. I'm relieved.
Our names sheltered in a certain dawn. A message, a summons. There must have been a moment at the beginning when we could have said no. But somehow, we missed it. Rosencrantz. Guildenstern. chance, we'll know better next time. Now you see me. Now you.
Sight is dismal. And our prayers for the moon have come too late. The ears are senseless that give us hearing to tell that his command has been fulfilled. The Rosencrantz and Guildenstern dead. Where should we have our thanks?
Not from his mouth had the ability of life to thank you. He never gave commandments or death. But since, so gentle this bloody question, you from the Poland wars and you from England are here arrived to give order that these bodies high on a stage be placed to view. And let me speak to the yet unknowing world of how these things came about. So shall I hear of carnal, bloody, unnatural acts, accidental judgment, casual slaughter, and in this upshot, purposes mistook, falling on the inventor's hands. All this can I truly deliver.
They are absolutely amazing, are they not? These young actors that I'm on the stage with, and it is a true honor to be on a stage with these young thespians, have been working diligently with me since the end of October as part of the advanced acting program that we offer here at W.P. Wagner. Everything that these students did tonight and this afternoon and twice yesterday and twice the day before that, and they will do it again tomorrow evening for a 7th show in 4 days, has been student done, student performed, student teched, student designed. Every costume you saw was made by students here in our building. All of the artwork was from our art department. The photography for our headshots was from our AV program. This is the complete work of the young people that I get to spend my day with every day. I absolutely love my job. I'm a performer myself, and when I get to come here and make art with these amazing people, I thank my lucky stars every day. This is a true performance art. Without an audience, there is no point. So thank you so much for joining us this evening, ladies and gentlemen. From the bottom of my heart, if I had to list off all the people I had to thank to make this thing possible, we'd be here for much, much longer. But if you can join me in one more time, thanking these young people. Constable's office is over there. Just one more comment from Miss Elizabeth Fraser, our current AP in charge of fine arts, ladies and gentlemen. Mrs.
Well, Mr. Taylor wants to make this about everybody else. I need to take a moment and make it about Mr. Taylor. So on behalf of the admin team at Wagner, I'm normally in the English department, but I get to be in the office this last couple of weeks. And it's absolutely my pleasure, my honor to be able to say thank you. I'd like to nominate you as best director.
Thank you very much. It was a tight race.
There's a number of alumni in the audience today, and I think that they will agree with me when I say not only do you put on the performances, you do the improv, you do all these things with our students, you also prepare them for the future. Whether they continue in performance art or not, you're getting ready. We thank you for that. Good night. I'm out of here.
Quick thing before you leave. Sorry to take more of your time, but it is important to know that during the show, I sit over there on the side, or I sit up in the booth, or I annoy the actors backstage. The show is stage managed by students. The show is teched by students. There was original songs you heard recorded and composed by students. This whole show is about them. And thank you guys so much for coming. And as they say in rock and roll, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. So, thank you for joining us. It means the world to us. Thank you so much.